there. Or you can keep reading, I don't care. Because the words, I've already used the word. I want you to notice one little tiny word. The word strife. Do you know what strife is in the Bible? Strife is a quarrelsome spirit. Quarrelsome spirit that turns differences into battles and relationships into contests. In fact, when I was writing this, when I was going to go to strife, you know what I wrote in my notes here? I wrote, this is a note to me, don't stir up strife when you preach on strife, right? Listen, you know strife is present when a person is pushing and arguing, pushing an argument, and not trying to pursue understanding of the other viewpoint. Strife is present when a person escalates tension rather than seeking peace. Strife is present when we turn differences into battles. Strife is present when a person enjoys being oppositional. Strife is present when winning the argument is the goal rather than reconciliation. And what I want to say to you is that just like unrepentant homosexuality, listen, a person who stirs up strife as a settled, unrepentant pattern of behavior is indicating that he or she has rejected the lordship of Jesus, no matter what label they put on themselves. And that rejection places him or herself outside the kingdom of God. You see, Paul never makes these errors that we talked about. He doesn't say it doesn't matter how you live, nor is he saying that your sin puts you beyond the gospel. No, what he's saying, what the Bible is saying is when God is replaced, desire becomes increasingly distorted. And what we want in our hearts will lose alignment with God's design. And yet what God does is what he says is he allows us to follow the path we insist on choosing. Paul's not finished. Look at verse 28. When God gives us over, our reason is distorted. Real quick, look at verse 28. And since they did not see fit to acknowledge God, God gave them up to a debased mind or a darkened mind to do what ought not to be done. Now, that doesn't mean that a debased mind or darkened mind doesn't mean that people lose their intelligence. What it means is they lose their moral clarity, confusion. In other words, their reason is still working. Their capacity